Star Wars is one of the biggest IPs in all the world. You've got iconic characters such as Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, whatever this thing is, and they've got a bunch of movies as well. Some good and some bad. Some very bad.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And now I'm going to rank each movie from each trilogy in a tier list, starting off with the first movie in the prequel trilogy is The Phantom Menace, where Obi-Wan agrees to train Anakin Skywalker. However, we all know how this would end up going. Now, another thing you need to know about these prequel movies is that they will use CGI in every single shot. And when they don't, it's a surprise. Is the CGI good? Well... Anyway, The Phantom Menace gets B tier. Next, we've got Attack of the Clones, which is an improvement to The Phantom Menace, but only by a little bit. In this movie, Anakin falls in love with Padme, we get to see more CGI, and we obviously get to see the main thing, the clones. B tier, again. Now we have the final prequel movie in the trilogy, which is the best Star Wars movie ever, Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin finally turns to the dark side and becomes Darth Vader, who is quite possibly the most popular villain ever. Also, this movie probably has the most memes in any Star Wars movie.
I have the high ground! You underestimate my power! Is it possible to learn this power? Hello there.
S tier. Now we can move on to the first movie in the original trilogy is A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie to ever be made. In this film we meet our main character Luke Skywalker and all of his friends. Together they destroy the Death Star and all get a medal. However, I don't think that this movie is as good as the other two movies in the trilogy, so it's getting A tier. Now we can move on to the best movie in the trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back, where the Empire strikes back.
Well, duh.
In this film, Luke gets trained by Yoda on this weird snake island thing. And at the end of the movie, Luke duels Darth Vader. This is where Darth Vader reveals that he's Luke's father, S tier. This now takes us to the final movie in the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi. Originally it was supposed to be called Revenge of the Jedi, but the title was changed. Anyway, in this film, a new Death Star is built. However, they give it the same flaws they did last time, because of course they would. But the main thing in this film is that Luke finally kills the Emperor, and his father, Darth Vader, finally gets redemption. It's under the mask. What's under the mask? Ugh, S tier. This now takes us to the final trilogy. Now, the sequels are widely considered to be the worst trilogy in Star Wars, but the first film isn't really that bad.
I mean, it's alright, like...
But what annoys me is basically just A New Hope, but worse. Now in The Force Awakens we learn that Han Solo and Princess Leia had a son, Ben Solo, but he's now turned into Kylo Ren, who is a Sith. We also meet Rey and Finn, who team up to blow up this, knockoff Death Star. B tier. Now we can move on to the worst Star Wars movie ever, The Last Jedi. Now this movie sucks. Like I even ended up getting bored while watching this film. Which is not good for a blockbuster. In this film, Rey kills Snoke with the help of Kylo Ren. However, Kylo Ren refuses to turn to the light side. Luke Skywalker also dies. Finn also has a love interest. However, do we see any more of her in the next film? No, so she was basically useless. F tier. And finally, we had The Rise of Skywalker, the last film in the sequel trilogy, which is not very good. However, I don't think it's as bad as The Last Jedi. The worst part of this film is it just makes no sense. Palpatine returns, Rey can use the Force to heal people now. There are ruins of the Death Star even though it got absolutely destroyed. They also do a fake C-3PO death. At the end of this film, Kylo Ren turns to the light side and Rey copy-pastes her lightsaber and gives it to him. Together they fight. However, Kylo Ren dies at the end, but so does Palpatine. However, he should have died because of this. E tier. Now that this video is made, I no longer serve any use to the Empire, so I guess this is the end.